Let us start with the absolute bombshell that was dropped during that incredibly tense conversation between Nicole and Dani. As we know, Naomi has been harboring a massive, soul-crushing secret for months. She tested positive for the BRCA gene mutation. When Dani finally found out, it was through a highly charged discussion with Nicole, and the contrast between these two sisters could not have been more stark. Nicole, who practically lives and breathes the medical field due to her prominent position at Garland Memorial Hospital, approached the situation with logic, science, and profound empathy. She completely understands the preventative measures available to someone with the BRCA gene. When Nicole learned that Naomi was seriously considering a double mastectomy to preemptively strike against the looming threat of breast cancer, she fully supported her niece. Nicole respects Naomi's bodily autonomy and recognizes that this drastic surgery is a legitimate, empowering way for Naomi to protect herself. I have to say, I am entirely on Team Nicole here. She is the voice of reason in a family that so often operates purely on high-octane emotion. On the other hand, we have Dani. Oh, Dani. Her reaction was nothing short of visceral, horrified denial. When Nicole relayed Naomi's surgical intentions, Dani practically recoiled in sheer panic. But why? To understand Dani's frantic rejection of the double mastectomy, we have to look deep into her psychology and her past. Dani is a former model. For her entire adult life, her physical body has been her currency, her identity, and her absolute armor against the world. She has spent decades romanticizing physical perfection. The very concept of surgically removing one's breasts, a societal symbol of femininity and beauty, is utterly incomprehensible to her superficial mindset. Dani is projecting her own deep-seated vanity and body image fears directly onto her daughter. Instead of seeing a brave young woman taking control of her destiny, Dani only sees a tragic mutilation. It is infuriating to watch, but it is also a brilliant piece of character writing. Dani cannot separate her own fragile ego from her daughter's life or death medical crisis. So this makes me wonder, is Dani's reaction solely about the surgery, or is she entirely unspooling from her recent traumas? Let us not forget that Dani is currently a psychological mess. She is suffering from severe, untreated PTSD following the devastating tornado that ripped through Fairmont Crest. She thought she was going to die in that dark, stalled elevator. And what did she do in that moment of primal terror? She hooked up with her toxic, gaslighting ex-husband, Bill Hamilton. Now, she is carrying the suffocating guilt of betraying Andre, the best man she has ever known. Dani's mind is a chaotic war zone of guilt, fear, and unresolved trauma. When she heard about Naomi's BRCA diagnosis and the impending mastectomy, it was simply the straw that broke the camel's back. Dani cannot handle one more crisis, so she is retreating into a desperate, controlling state of denial. She wants to freeze time and keep everything exactly as it is, because any change feels like a catastrophic loss. Desperate for an ally to validate her frantic worldview, Dani runs straight to the matriarch of the family, Anita. This move is so incredibly telling. Dani fully expected her mother to side with her. In Dani's warped logic, Anita, who just went through a grueling, terrifying battle with breast cancer, would surely view the loss of breasts as a horrific tragedy to be avoided at all costs. Dani went to Anita hoping to recruit her in a crusade to talk Naomi out of the. She wanted Anita to use her matriarchal authority to forbid Naomi from going under the knife. Dani was looking for an echo chamber for her own vanity and fear. But she severely miscalculated the profound wisdom and strength that Anita has gained from her harrowing medical journey. When Anita heard the news that her beloved granddaughter, Naomi, tested positive for the BRCA gene, she was undoubtedly heartbroken. What grandmother wouldn't be? The generational curse of this family is staggering. First, they lost Barbara. Then, Anita had to fight for her life. And now, the genetic shadow has fallen over Naomi and Dani. But Anita's grief did not manifest as panic. Instead of joining Dani in her hysterical crusade, Anita delivered a powerful, grounding reality check that left Dani absolutely stunned. Anita firmly and unequivocally shut Dani down. She made it crystal clear that they have absolutely no right to impose their own fears onto Naomi. Anita became the ultimate protector of Naomi's autonomy, telling Dani that this is Naomi's body, Naomi's life, and Naomi's choice alone. But that's not all. Anita went a step further, drawing upon the dark, agonizing reality of her own recent cancer battle. Anita forced Dani to confront the ugly truth that Dani has been actively ignoring. Anita explained with devastating clarity that the physical and mental torture of actual cancer treatment, the toxic chemotherapy, the radiation, the exhaustion, the terrifying proximity to death is infinitely worse than the prospect of a preventative double mastectomy. Anita lived through the nightmare. She lost her hair, her strength, and nearly her life. She looked death in the eye. For Anita, a double mastectomy isn't a tragic mutilation. It is a miraculous shield. It is a proactive, courageous strike against a disease that ravages families. Anita passionately declared that she never ever wants to see her granddaughter endure the agonizing hell of cancer treatment if she has the power to prevent it. The emotional weight of Anita's words was staggering. She framed Naomi's decision not as a loss, but as a profound victory over fear. By choosing the surgery, Naomi is taking her power back from the BRCA gene. She is refusing to live her life waiting for a ticking time bomb to explode. Anita's perspective is rooted in survival and deep unconditional love, whereas Dani's perspective is rooted in aesthetics and selfish denial. I found myself cheering for Anita in this moment. She is exactly the matriarch this family needs, strong, empathetic, and unwilling to coddle Dani's toxic delusions. But the real question is, did any of Anita's profound wisdom actually penetrate Dani's thick skull? My theory is absolutely not. Dani is far too deep in her own neuroses to simply let this go. Despite Anita's beautiful, logical, and emotional plea, I strongly suspect that Dani will not change her mind. Dani's need for control is a trauma response. I believe we are going to see Dani completely disregard Anita's advice and ambush Naomi. I predict Dani will corner her daughter, crying, manipulating, and begging her not to ruin her body. Dani will make Naomi's incredibly difficult medical decision entirely about herself, causing a massive, devastating rift between mother and daughter. Naomi is already carrying the weight of the world. The last thing she needs is her mother projecting body dysmorphia and panic on her. If Dani pushes too hard, she risks alienating Naomi forever, right when Naomi is at her most. And while Dani is spiraling out of control over Naomi's medical choices, she is leaving herself completely exposed to the most dangerous predator in Fairmont Crest, Bill Hamilton. Dani is emotionally fragile, utterly exhausted, and desperate for an escape from the mounting pressures of her life. She is a sitting duck. We all know Bill is not going to just leave her alone. He is obsessed with the fact that he got her into bed in that elevator. For Bill, it wasn't just a panic-induced hookup, it was a triumphant reclamation of his property. He views Dani as his, and he is determined to break her marriage to Andre. Bill thrives on chaos, and he will absolutely use Dani's current mental breakdown regarding Naomi to slither his way back into her life. Imagine the scenario. Dani is crying, feeling alienated from Nicole, rebuffed by Anita, and terrified of pushing Naomi away. She can't talk to Andre because she is hiding the affair and feels he doesn't understand her BRCA fears. Who is standing right there in the shadows, offering a twisted, toxic shoulder to cry on? Bill. He will weaponize her vulnerability. He will tell her exactly what she wants to hear, that she is beautiful, that she shouldn't have to deal with this stress, that he is the only one who truly understands her dark side. Bill's manipulation tactics are legendary, and Dani is currently lacking the emotional fortitude to fight him off. I am terrified that Dani's obsession with stopping Naomi's surgery will push her right back into Bill's manipulative grasp. But here is where the plot thickens into pure, soapy perfection. Bill is not the invincible puppet master he thinks he is. He is currently being slowly, methodically poisoned by his current wife, Haley. Haley has been slipping toxic serum into his drinks, biding her time to collect his massive life insurance payout. Bill has already collapsed once and is experiencing severe hand tremors. What if Bill's relentless pursuit of Dani becomes his literal undoing? I foresee a highly dramatic confrontation where Bill corners Dani, perhaps trying to force a romantic moment while she is emotionally distressed about Naomi. And right in the middle of his aggressive seduction, the poison finally reaches its critical mass. What if Bill drops dead or falls into a deep coma right in Dani's living room? The implications would be catastrophic. Dani is already keeping the elevator affair a secret from Andre. If Bill collapses while harassing her, it will look incredibly suspicious. Haley, who already knows about the elevator hookup because she eavesdropped on them, could easily twist the narrative. Haley could frame Dani for the poisoning. Haley could tell the police that Dani was a bitter, jealous ex-wife who poisoned Bill out of revenge. Dani's frantic, erratic behavior over Naomi's surgery would only make her look more unhinged and guilty to the authorities. It would be the ultimate framing, and Dani would be completely trapped in a web of lies she helped weave. And let us not forget the collateral damage in all of this, Andre. Sweet, devoted, oblivious Andre. He thinks Dani is just suffering from tornado PTSD. He has no idea that his wife slept with her ex-husband, or that she is actively rejecting the very medical preventative measures that could keep her alive. Andre has already lost his parents. The thought of losing Dani to cancer terrifies him. But Dani's refusal to face her own BRCA status, coupled with her horrific betrayal with Bill, is a ticking time bomb. When Andre finally discovers the truth, and in soap operas, the truth always comes out, it will destroy him. Dani is on the verge of losing her daughter, her husband, and her freedom, all because she refuses to face reality. Ultimately, the Dupree family is standing at a terrifying crossroads. Naomi is bravely marching toward a difficult but life-saving future, supported by the wisdom of Anita and the medical pragmatism of Nicole. But Dani is anchored to the past, drowning in vanity, fear, and toxic secrets. Will Anita's powerful words eventually break through Dani's delusion? Will Dani wake up before she destroys her relationship with Naomi and her marriage to Andre? Or will Bill Hamilton's looming shadow and Haley's deadly poison drag Dani down into a point of no return? I cannot wait to see how this explosive storyline unfolds. Let me know your theories in the comments, and stay tuned as we continue to track every shocking moment in Fairmont Crest.